Today on FTRTV, we're going to try and fix my refractometer. G'day everyone, my name is David Mai and welcome back to First Time Refractometer. To all my Asian homies out there, happy Lunar New Year. Hope you guys are getting ready to celebrate the upcoming lunar festivities. And I wish you guys all the health, wealth and prosperity for the new Chinese New Year. But unfortunately for me, this Milwaukee seawater refractometer has been incredibly reliable over the years, and I have never owned any other refractometer in my reefing life, purely because I hate looking through those little tubes. I think they're ridiculously expensive for what they are, for the named brands, and I can't see very well. I've got pretty poor vision, so looking through a tube to try and see where exactly that blue line is doesn't really work for me. But there's been a couple of other ones out that come out, like pens and stuff, but I do see a lot of stuff online whether they are reliable. But this one here has been incredibly reliable for me, right up until today when I tried to use it. I put up a post on Maffa, and Sam Parker commented saying that due to the error that I'm getting, most likely the prism in here, which if you do look at it, it looks like it is a little bit mangled because it doesn't look like it's quite center there. It's just going straight through the middle. So maybe one of the boys have dropped this and I haven't seen it, and has knocked the lens out of whack. So I'm going to open it up today and show you guys, one, what's inside, two, how to take it apart, and three, hopefully how to fix this thing, because I need to do a water change. Stick around. So we've got the unit here that we're going to take apart. Now, just to take it apart, I'm just going to use a little butter knife here just to get the feet off the bottom here. You can leave this one here because there's actually no screw hole there. And then just a screwdriver just to get in there and take out the screws that are inside. So we'll just quickly get these rubber feet off, and they just come off very, very easily. You can see underneath there's the screw holes where the screws screw into the body. So this one here, I have a feeling I actually glued that in. So it's probably going to be a little bit there. It was glued in. Take these off, just get it aside, put them somewhere safe so they don't go missing. And then, so you guys can see, if we just stick it in the hole and twist, the screws should come out. Now this unit has been incredibly reliable for me. I've used it, this is the only refractometer I've ever bought. Purely because I don't, like I said before, I don't like those little look-through refractometers because they're far too difficult for me to be able to see and pinpoint accurately exactly what my salinity is. But that's the screws undone. We've got to undo this as well, which is the battery cap. Make sure you don't lose this little black O-ring that's inside, because this is what's going to keep the unit sealed up and protect it from all the salt water. Take the battery out, unclip that nice and gently, and then we'll stick this through in a second. But that's all the screws undone, so what I should be able to do is just pry it open like that. And then this one here, the little flap, just stick it through the hole. It's a bit of a tight fit, but you'll be able to get it through. So the quality of these units are fantastic, because that's actually a rubber seal that sits inside that ridge there, which really stops any moisture from getting inside here at all. There is no salt water residue or anything inside there. So that's the battery flap. The circuit board looks pretty good to me. But this is where the lens is, just underneath that. So you've got a few screws to take off. So we'll start by taking off this one screw first. And to be honest, I don't know what it's meant to look like underneath here, but I'm sure if there is something dislodged or something off center, it'll be pretty obvious. So I'll take this one off as well. Do that, this should come out quite nicely. So that's it there. Now, I mean, looking at it, I can't really see what it's meant to be doing, but maybe we can take out these screws as well. Really get in there and have a look, but you can see the lens is still intact and it's still sitting where it's meant to be sitting. Oops, not anymore, it isn't. That's fine, we'll just take all these screws out. So, the prism did look like it was not sitting correctly because it was actually just on the angle like that. So that is probably because this unit has been dropped. You can see it's on the angle there. Now there is a little bit of sticky icky there, and I think that's meant to be there. But if I take that, I'll put it back in like that. That'll mean that it's sitting correctly. So if I put it in like that there, so considering that wasn't entirely straight, but I mean if it's sitting in that, surely that's got to be correct. So let me get a tissue and just wipe the lens of this. Is that meant to be glue or? Give the lens a wipe anyway. And let's just try getting it back and see if that makes any difference whatsoever. So now get these screws back in. I mean, it's a pretty simple unit to take apart, to be honest. That wasn't too difficult at all. I was actually on the verge of going to buy a new one, to be honest, but I'm glad I didn't. Hopefully this does fix it though, but we'll find out. Good sign though, there's nothing broken inside. Hello guys, look inside there. Is the prism meant to be half and half like that? Where you can see that black section on the side there? But looking at it, it honestly cannot go in any other way. So I'll get this lens now. Now you'll see the lens, if you can see that. It's actually flat on this side and curved on that side. And that needs to go facing towards that side, the curve side. So flat facing this way, curve facing that way. And to get this in, which goes in that front slot there. To get this in, we're just gonna have to flip this upside down. Just get it in the very correct position. Whoops. In upside down like that. You shouldn't hear anything moving, which means all the holes line up and everything is in place. I mean, I hope That solves the issue. But I only found out this wasn't working because I went to go use it for a water change to test my water change water, and it came out with that low error, which means it's not reading correctly. So if I connect up the battery now, I shouldn't be able to kill myself with 9 volts. I should now be able to turn it on. I'll try some of this distilled water. Try and zero it out. Hey, and it works. And then if I hit, let's check the range, specific gravity. They hit that. Bob's your uncle. How's that? It's all working fine, so we'll turn it off. Disconnect the battery now. And we'll get the unit back together. I'm so happy about that, because that is going to be a pain in the nuss to go and get a new one today. So let's do that. Let's make sure all of that stuff is pushed into the crevice properly. Now the screws are still inside, so I should be able to just screw this down. That's it, it's all back together. We'll connect the battery back up now, and we will do a water test of salinity to check how it's going, but I'm glad that was such an easy fix. Now, really important, remember to get this back in, because you don't want the salt water to deteriorate your battery at all, which will deteriorate the connections. That's in. And get all these feet back on, which keep the unit nice and level when you're doing your salinity test. And simple as that, the unit is fixed, my friends. So if we turn it on now, I should be able to do a distilled water test, and it should come up as all donuts. Let's sit there for a few seconds. So this one here is the temperature compensation. So that actually gets the temperature of the water and compensates in your test reading. So it's important, just let your water sit there for a little bit. Hit the read button, 1000. Happy days, my friends. Now, it's really important when you do your salinity test that straight afterwards, clean it with a bit of RO and just wipe it dry, so you haven't got any residue on there, any crystals that can form underneath that might make a future saltwater test inaccurate because of it dissolving. So it's really, really important to clean all of this section down after every single test. And I get into the habit of, when I can as well, just having a bottle of distilled water next to the unit and just doing a calibration every single time that you do a test on this. So, all right, so that's my salinity, that's my Milwaukee seawater refractometer fixed. Shout out to Sam Parker for saying that it's most likely because the unit has been dropped and the prism is probably out of whack, and was certainly the case. So very, very easy, very simple to take this apart and fix it yourself. And if that didn't work, then basically you just got to put it in the bin, I assume. But no, I'm so happy that can be fixed. Now I can go do my water change. Now, if you guys found this video helpful at all, hit that like button. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you have any questions at all. Again, shout out to Sam Parker for making me think of the prism, or suggesting that it was the prism. And my friends, be sure to subscribe to this channel, because we're about to hit 4K, which is pretty awesome. My friends, until next time, peace.